Hello, everyone. This is MMA Interesting Prospects podcast. Today, our guest is Matt Adams, who will fight in Contender Series August 11th. Hello, Matt. How are you?
Good, boss. How are you doing today?
I'm good, and you are, I think, that in like a perfect moment of your career because you are just one fight, one win away from getting a UFC contract. But let's start from this. When did you find out about this kind of opportunity?
Uh, I would say so. I announced it about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago when I announced it, or maybe a week ago. But I found out about it I say about 4 weeks ago. I found out about it maybe 3, 4 weeks ago, and we were just waiting. So I knew about it, but we weren't allowed to announce anything until we got the contract signed and we sent them back. So we both sent them back the same night, and then we were told we were allowed to announce it to our fans and our family, our supporters. So the only people I was allowed to tell was my wife and my gym. So, but yeah, about 4 weeks ago, I think.
But I think that overall is a kind of rare situation that you know that you will be fighting on the show and you will fight this certain opponent in just like 3 or 4 months. It's kind of crazy to know it.
Yeah, it was definitely crazy knowing it, like because I was in talks to fight Charlie Cleveland, which me and him are friends. Um, so me and him were in talks. We were gonna fight each other. We both agreed. I think we were waiting on the contracts that night. Actually, we agreed in the morning, and we were both waiting on the contracts that night. And then I was on my way home from work. I got a call from my manager. He's like, "Matt, what are you doing?" Like, I'm on my way home from work. What's going on? He's like, "Hey, you're done with LFA." I said, "What do you mean I'm done with LFA?" He's like, "I'm pulling you off LFA." I said, "Well, what's going on? Like, why am I getting pulled off?" He said, "You got to call up to fight a Dana White Contender Series." I said, "Hell yeah." He's like, "You and Charlie both did, so you guys won't be fighting each other." I'm like, "Hell yeah, let's do it." I didn't know who my opponent was. I didn't care. Like, it's one of them things that, like, as a fighter, you work towards that, but you also, you should be ready for any fight at any given time.
And right now, you of course know who your opponent will be. And did you have a chance to watch like his fights here, his highlights to know to dig deep in his career?
Yeah, I watched his fights. I watched his highlights. I mean, he's got a lot of hype around him, got a lot of followers. People still talk about when he was in the NFL, and that stuff don't bother me. A big knockout don't bother me. A big finish doesn't bother me. You playing in the NFL doesn't bother me. At the end of the day, we're heavyweights. At the end of the day, we're fighters. Everybody's got puncher chance. Everybody's got a chance of winning. Everybody got a chance of losing. You could be 0-10 and fight a guy that's 10-0 and maybe land a punch, a lucky shot. Um, I was actually pretty blessed to get the opponent I got because since I've lost my LFA title when I went to fight for it, I won one fight since then. But since that fight, I haven't stepped out of the gym. I've been dieting. I've been losing weight. I'm set at like 237 right now. I don't have to cut weight for heavyweight, and this is probably the best physical shape I've been in my whole fight career. This is probably the best mindset I've been in my whole fight career, and so I'm excited to test myself. My thing is I'll fight the best of the best. And when I fought for that title, I didn't show up. I was in bad shape. I went out there just because it was a title fight. It sounded cool to be on my record. If I won, if I lost, it just sounded cool. I could tell people, "Oh, I fought for a world title." But I don't even consider that anything now because I got beat. But this fight means a lot. I'm gonna show who I am in this fight.
And you definitely it even seems that way that you lost some way. And if you can tell me, do you even consider like going in maybe next few years to light heavyweight?
Yeah. So the funny part is, after I took that loss, I realized like I'm a shorter heavyweight. I'm not big heavyweight. Like I was a fat heavyweight, so yeah, you consider me big, but I wasn't a tall heavyweight. I didn't really have the reach or anything. I had the power. I still have the power, but I talked to my coaches. I talked to my team. I talked to my family. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna get in the gym, start losing this weight, and see where it goes. And then we start talking. I'm like, I'm gonna go 205. Well, then they called me to fight Charlie. I said, yeah. I'm like, I'll do it one more heavyweight fight, and then I'll go 205. And then they called me to fight Contender Series heavyweight. I'm like, yeah, I'll do that. Uh, Yeah, my goal was to go 205, and I was on track to do that. Like I said, when I got back for the title fight, he got right back in the gym like 2 weeks later. But by the time I got back in the gym, I was, depressed and just sad from losing, getting my ass kicked on live TV. I think when I got back to the gym, I was like 295. So since January, the end of January after I took that fight, it was almost, yeah. So it was February actually, because it was 2 weeks after I took, yeah. So February, I've lost that weight. I'm a 237 this morning, and my goal wasn't going to be stopping cutting the weight, but I'll probably stay right around this weight, maybe 235, 245. I don't know which way we're going to go yet, but yeah, that was my plan to go 205.
And actually, the title fight was the only loss of your career. And at that point, did you think that your like road to get to the UFC can be a little bit like longer? So maybe you will get like to the UFC in 2027 or even later, or you were like in the end still like super like motivated to get it like this year?
Well, so my goal was I talked to my manager. I said, "Hey man, I need to, what's the plan here?" Because I got called up and put on short call list before I took the title fight. So I could have waited out and waited till I got the call for like a short replacement or something. But I told him no, I want to test myself. I want to fight for a title. And then got beat. I called him. I said, "Hey man, what do I need to do?" He said, "You need at least two more wins before we can get you on." He said, "Let's knock out two wins real quick before August and see what the hell we can do." So cool. So like I was looking for fights for a while, and it just seemed like you think and come off a loss like that, everybody be down to fight you. Oh, this dude just guy's butt kicked on live TV. I'll fight him. But it wasn't like that at all. Everybody's he just fought for world title. I'm not gonna fight him. That's stupid. You got or it's like you're gonna need to pay me this much to fight him. And it was weird just because it's like yes, I fought for world title, but I didn't do anything out there. I didn't show out. I didn't like. I got embarrassed. So it was odd to me that nobody want to fight me. We had like 16, 70 guys turn me down. And my thought process was everybody will take the fight. I just got embarrassed in front of everybody, sold out crowd. But it wasn't that case. It took me a while. I finally got a fight. I won it. And then I'm like, I turned right around. I said, "Hey, I want to fight again." We started talking to Charlie after he won his fight. And that was a fight that we thought we were going to make. And it just somehow, I don't know if they got the word to like, I don't know what happened. I just know they called me up and called Charlie up. So it's very blessed with it.
And I think overall, like this kind of chance, so fighting in the Contender Series is great because in the end, you know that you are just one fight away from getting the contract. Because in the end, like on the regional scene, you don't know. You can be on a long winning streak and still you can not receiving a contract. And right now, you know that it is just one punch and you will be there.
Yeah, that's the thing. Everybody's like, you're gonna be the underdog again. You're gonna be counted out again. You're gonna be a big and that's the kind of stuff that fuels me. I don't mind being under. I've been the underdog pretty much every one of my fights. So being the underdog, that just fuels me to work harder, work better. Yeah, I'm fueled more than ever because I'm gonna show out in the best shape. I've said that before though. I said like, oh, I'm gonna show up in shape. I'm gonna show up in this. I lied to myself. I lied to my fans. I lied to my supporters. I lied to everybody. I didn't show up. I showed up, but I didn't show up like I said I was going to show up. This time, like you can look on their social medias, you can see that I'm coming in totally different shape. I'm coming in totally different headspace, vibe. I'm happier. I'm living a better, cleaner life when it comes to my diet, comes to my training. So yeah, I am excited to be one fight away, one punch away, one submission away, or anything to get a contract to impress Dana. So yeah, I'm fueled for it. I feel great.
And last time we spoke, you said that you are like training with also with RJ Harris, who is like one of the best regional heavyweights, also like in US. And I think that there may be a chance that he will also get the Contender Series shot because I believe he's like 5-0 undefeated, beating good guys. So maybe it will be like the same episode or episode after.
Me and RJ had our battles before where we weren't friends. You know, uh, I there was a time where I thought me and RJ were gonna fight. I reached out to every promoter. They offered him to fight. Uh, didn't get it. We just didn't fight. But yeah, like I said, I talk to RJ every day. Pretty much every day. We train together. I want to see him get the call up. I just think what's holding him up was he got a manager a little bit later in the year. and like after his fights. I think if he was got a manager a little bit quicker, he probably already got the call up. But I don't know. I don't know what they look at to pick you. I don't know, but yeah, he definitely should get the call up. And I tell him that all the time. I'm like, man, just keep your head up. Keep grinding, get in the gym. Do your thing. You're going to call up. And I root for every one of my friends. I want to see everybody get that next level. So yeah, I think he's got a really good chance. And if he doesn't soon, one or two more fights after that, he'll get a short notice call for UFC or something. But I can see it being soon to get the call up for Contender Series.
And heavyweight division in the UFC, I think that is right now quite interesting because of course we've got Josh Hawkett made a lot of noise. Gable Stevenson will make his UFC debut. There are a few other heavyweights like Walter Walker who is submitting everyone with heel hooks. So there are few good elements in the heavyweight division, and I think that it's much more interesting than let's say a year ago.
Oh yeah, the heavyweight division was dead a year ago, and the problem is it was you even before that you had Tom and John going at it, and that everyone knew that fight was going to happen. That held up the division for a while. No one really cared about watching the other fights. Just to see that fight. Through, we kind of got the fight Tom. Then that fight didn't play out at all how anyone thought. That fight was just a disappointment with the eye poke. Now it's Tom's out. Now Cyril Gaines about to fight Alex Pereira, which I guess that's a second fight. I don't know. I don't really. It doesn't. That fight really doesn't. Doesn't do anything for me. I don't really like that fight. I don't really care. I'd rather see Tom come back and fight Cyril because Cyril. That uh, then, like I said, you said Josh. I was gonna fight Josh on the regional scene for LFA, so that's a fight that I'm watching for sure. Like I tell everyone, what he's doing is working, man. Look where he's at. So yeah, there is the heavyweights definitely got a new spark behind it, and that's awesome because it's like, all right, if I'm going to do a division, I want to be a division that people are actually watching.
Okay, Matt. So many thanks for the time and for conversation. Of course, I hope that you will get to the UFC this year, and who knows, maybe we can see you like in the light heavyweight division also quite soon.
Yeah, I'd love for that. Definitely, we'll see how this fight plays out, and win or lose, I'm going 205. So hopefully, get the dub and then see where we're at.